Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Just in case you're new here, my name is Kay. Cheers. My dog, Lenny, my little Chug, woke me up at 1:15 a.m. this morning. Coffee's very hot. I have been up since 1:15 a.m. Oh, I'm so tired. But here I am. I have been in this big project of reorganizing all my beads, and it's at that place right now where the reorganization is complete disarray. So I put some time into that this morning. I also made myself a keychain. Oh, let me show you. Okay, it's not finished. I'm gonna put on, this says, "Hey y'all." Isn't that cute? Is that not adorable? I'm gonna put on a little, I have these little pink pom-poms, and I'm gonna put one of those on. I haven't been able to find it because I'm reorganizing all my things right now. So it is someplace. As soon as I bump into it, it's gonna go on there. When I saw these for crafters to be able to make your own keychain, you can buy this on Amazon. I think I bought them and it came like 10 in a package or something. I thought these were a brilliant idea. Let me tell you why. I've been looking for something for my purse like this, but really haven't found anything that didn't require me to carry something in addition to what I already carry in my purse, and my purse is already heavy enough. I like this as a safety device. Okay, so a couple of things I did with my design of this to make this, or at least one thing that I did with my design. The other one just naturally occurs, but a couple of things here. Number one, this is stone. And if ever you're stuck someplace, or, stone can be used to crack a lot of things. So this is stone. Safety item number one. This can be used under a lot of circumstances. But it was this, when I saw it, that I said, oh, isn't that clever? Because this ball end easily twists off, and you have yourself a metal rod. And I was just thinking, it looks dangerous, doesn't it? I was just thinking, for us ladies, if we start to feel like our surroundings are not safe, I'll demonstrate for you. If we start to feel that our surroundings are not safe, and so when I was a child, first of all, I'll go back it up. When I was a child, my mother taught me from a very young age, because she always did it. When you're out and about, you're at a store, or you're doing something, never leave that place without having your keys out. And my mom taught me when I was young, your key can become a protective device, but it also allows you to get in your car very quickly if the need arises. My mom was overprotective like that, so I grew up to always think about personal safety. So I already have the habit of, before I leave a place, an establishment, I will always take out my keys. But what came up for me is, how clever is this, that you can be having your keys in your hands and slowly untwisting that ball and creating something for yourself should you feel the need arise. So my recommendation to you is, get yourself one of these. These, you could, if you have, stuff you can put on it. These were, I wish I should have brought it up for you. It was so inexpensive. Now, I can't speak for how long this will last. I can let you know later, but put some things on it and look what you have. So yeah, outside of the pink little ball, this is going to be going into my purse today, and I was really pleased with that. Okay, if I ever, maybe we should just talk about my product line for a minute. If I ever get out to a fair, an event, I was thinking to do little do-it-yourself packs where all of the components go into a bag, you know, plus, and people can buy it and create their own. Thought that would be a cool idea. If I ever get out to an event, you know, where I can sell my product lines. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about that event. Before we do this, let's talk about that event. I shared in my last video that happens to be uploading on my system right now that I filled out 2 event applications. I have in the past sold products via Etsy, and for quite some time I sold stickers, and they all had to do with mental health because, of course, I'm a former therapist, and that was just part of the Love Notes by Kay. With every sticker I sold, I wrote a personal note telling someone how valued they are, how special they are, and that was the intent of that Etsy store. I really wanted to send out, I was at a place where I felt really disconnected from my work as a therapist. I felt like I wasn't doing enough to connect to human beings, and it was also during COVID. So it wasn't necessarily about the sticker purchase as much as it was about me sitting down and writing that note. The creation of Love Notes by Kay. And just what I bumped into with Etsy right away was the fees. I couldn't put product out at a price that I wanted to put it out at. There's nothing in me that feels like I could ever turn a profit from any of this. But it feels like important work to me. Number one, I'm creating because it helps my mental health, my well-being. It's a hobby. It's a good thing for me to create. But number two, I could create things at a really reasonable cost that make it accessible to, you know, these things, which for me, they're things of beauty. They're special things that we can bring into our life, but I can make it accessible to people. And I just didn't feel like Etsy was the avenue where I would be able to do that. There was also the issue with the post office, which during COVID, when I was doing all of this, was just atrocious. I just never felt like the items would get there. And then there was always the internal pressure on myself to, once I got an order, I really felt responsible for shipping that out within 24 hours because I didn't want that person to wait. So Etsy just didn't feel like it was sustainable to me. And so I just put my shop on vacation. My shop is still on vacation. And then I had the idea of, well, I still want that connection. I still want people to feel love from these products. And then this year I had the idea of, well, maybe I could connect through events. And silly me, never having done an event, when I filled out my 2 applications, I realized after I filled them out that, boy, I've got a lot to learn about that. So I think I bombed my applications, and of course I did, because they asked me things like, do you have Instagram? No. Do you have a website? No. I don't have anything to show them. So like, duh, Kay, what are you thinking about here? So this year, I may not make it to those events. I'm still going to save up for them because they actually happen to be more expensive than what I ever imagined they would be, which was another novice mistake. But maybe I'll just take 2026, save up for them, create products, and you guys can tell me, like, is this a good idea or not? Is it just me and, you know, my Gen X generation of, or my personal raising of my mom being overly protective? Anyway, I'm still going to save up for it today. And why am I telling you all that? Well, because we have to cash stuff a little bit more into Love Notes. And so what I did this week, realizing I had this savings challenge going, and this was going to be all about my booth, right? And it still is going to be all about my booth, only now instead of having a booth in 2026, it looks like I'm going to have, oh, that's the wrong one. It looks like actually, I have it in my hand. It looks like it will be 2027 because I want to get my website back up and open, not necessarily to sell, but at least to be able to display my product. I want to start an Instagram, again, for the pure purposes of just displaying what I create so that in the future, when I do apply for things, I have something there that's tangible that people can look at. This is my Love Notes binder. And also I want to do a lot of good things with Love Notes. I still want to, when I had the Etsy shop, I was making community connections with other therapists, with other organizations, and I was able to donate product to events and fairs that they had. And I just don't have a vehicle to be able to do that right now. So it feels like even if I still save up for this and set up those things, it's an avenue where I can connect with those people and still be a part of their fairs and events through products that I donate for that. So that's a good thing. But this is my Love Notes binder. And what I did is I went in and I still have the savings challenges back here, right? Okay. But I also created envelopes. And what I'm going to do now is when the budget allows, and it doesn't always allow, but when the budget allows, I'm going to cash stuff into these envelopes. And the envelopes that I set up were display. I've been looking at a lot of videos about how people display at events trying to learn. So I'm going to, be a few months in research and product development, but display, equipment, registration, that's a big one for events, supplies, taxes, website, and YouTube. So I set up those envelopes. Now I took out from the bank, we needed $370, but I had extra in the budget that didn't need to stay in my buffer. So I was able to take out $500 from the bank for this cash stuffing. So there's 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can just cash stuff this because we want to put $30 into Love Notes. When I say we, you and me, and if you watch a couple of videos back, at the end of the year, when I was doing things with what I had saved throughout the year, some of that went to pay off 2 credit cards, and some of that, rather than I was getting funded, so rather than go to the bank to get out cash for that cash stuffing, I used the cash that I had and then digitally moved that at the bank. So we already cash stuffed some for this funding cycle. We just had that $30 plus cash wallet left over. Cheers. Okay, so I can see right away I'm going to need change. These are the savings challenges. I need to have my glasses on. And I don't like to run envelopes behind each one of my savings challenges. I just like to have like a little bank behind it. And I don't have 10s here to break that down. Let me see if I have 5s. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put $10 to a savings challenge. And take 10 back out. Oh, my little extra stickers. Where are you? Not in that one. Remind me in the future, stickers are in the back of Christmas. I was able to recycle these out of my Kell of a Plan budget book. Okay, so we've doing 10 more to the savings challenge. I set up the personal savings challenges so that by the end of the challenge, I would meet the goal of what I wanted to save. So I know I just need to keep, you know, plugging away at those until I meet that goal. Okay, and then I have I had 30, so now I have 20. And let's put that to registration. Actually, you know what? No. Let's put it to website, because I just can't register for another thing until I have a website or an Instagram channel. Okay. I did have a website before, but you know, it costs a fee each month, and I wasn't using it to sell any products, so it just seemed like a waste of money. Okay, $10 went to challenges, and $20 went to website. Okay. And I'm going to leave that out because the other thing we had left over for cash stuffing to do was putting cash stuffing in my cash wallet. So this is my cash wallet. I carry it in my purse. Normally my other, you know, IDs are here, but I take them out when I film. I have a calendar system that I run here in my cash wallet, and you all know clarity is my word of the year. And what I do with my cash wallet is I just start from the back, and miscellaneous gets 20. Personal gets 20. Eating out gets 40. Household gets 20. And groceries gets the rest. Which is not right, because that's right, I pulled out extra, didn't I? Okay. That was way too much money for groceries. My cash wallet gets $340. And generally I have exactly $340, so I don't even have to count up like what goes where. Let's see, we have 20 in personal, we have 40 in eating out, we have 20 in household, and we have miscellaneous. 80, 100. So groceries should get $240. There we go. Cash wallet is stuffed for the next 2 weeks. And I shared in my last video what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to not grocery shop consistently, but skip a week, or if I could, skip 2 weeks of the month, because I have found that, again, if I can just skip one and make do with what I have in the house for that week, I have so much more money to put to my savings challenges. And I tend to be pretty good at things like that. Like there's certain aspects of my life I could completely cut off and live very, very frugally. I'm old, y'all, so I know how to food preserve. I know how to can. I know how to, you know, have dried beans rather than canned beans. And these are all things that I try to incorporate into my life. I know how to grow my own food. I don't share that side of myself a lot here on this channel, but we have very large gardens here, and I do a lot of food preserving here. So in that aspect, I can be very frugal. At the same time, we go through a lot of groceries here. Of course, at the animal sanctuary, we have, you know, there's 30 souls out there that require fresh produce and all of that. So what we don't grow, we have to bring in and buy. But if I can just minimize that once or twice a month, makes all the difference. And again, like I was saying, I can be very disciplined like that. Where I lose my discipline is things, well, you all know me now. Stationery, huge, absolutely huge for me. I can buy all the things and be very happy about it. Okay, so my cash wallet's done. Now here was the extra that we took out of the bake. And this is what we're going to need to allocate. $130. So my last video I shared, I've got some security cameras that need to be mounted, and that's going to take some labor. So I think I'll put $20 into labor. Really don't have a ton of garden expenses right now. That won't happen until the spring. I write it down because I didn't pre-figure this out in my budget, which normally I do. It's down to the dollar. I just wasn't anticipating this extra money. So I'm going to write it down because everything gets allocated in YNAB. Cheers. Oh boy, it's not hot. It's so hot anymore. Okay. I have $110 left over. So let me go into my personal binder. I have already paid for all of my publishing associated fees for my book. What I'm saving up now for is for my next book. So I think I'll put $10 into creativity, because I will need to save all year to have in cash enough money for my next book, which it's going to be ready mid-year. So I'll have to use whatever I've saved up plus tap into savings. Okay, date night's good. Emergency, we already put in an extra $100. So that's good. Personal and self-care. I can put some extra money in self-care. I shared in my last video about my hair disaster. That needs to be repaired tomorrow. So let me put $20 into self-care and take back $80, which thankfully is exactly what I have in 20s. Actually, that's going to cut me really close. I try to stay 2 hair appointments ahead, so let me put $60 into self-care. When I had taken out cash at the year of the end, I really stripped down these envelopes, and I think this one went down a little bit too much. Yeah, I like to have enough for at least 2 sessions. And that's just a mind game I play with myself, because this is an area where I tend to be more frugal, and if I feel like, oh, there's just not enough, I will skip an appointment, and I don't want to do that to myself. Oh, well, I put the money in the wrong place. Okay, all of these mind games. Okay, and what do I have left? I have $40 left. Well, let's go back over to Love Notes. Okay, website, I anticipate it being about $60 to get launched. So you know what? Let's just put the other $40 in website, and let's get that launched so I can start putting up some photos. This is coming out of a different money, so I'm going to keep it separate. Okay. Okay. I think we are cash stuffed. We are done for this funding cycle. Now it's just a matter of spending what I allocated and moving forward. So on that note, I hope you all have had a great week, and until the next time, may you be blessed.